Hey guys, this is Christians in the Gritty. Life is hard.
And man, we've lived it.
We sure have. We are just two sisters doing our best to please God through it all.
And having fun doing it.
Woo!
So, Christina, it's been a while since we just checked in. Life has been so crazy lately. It's like so busy. The end of the year. Shaylin's a senior. You have a junior and a
I have a
senior.
junior that is suddenly graduating this year.
Yeah. And, ball season and all the things, church and all the other kids and all the appointments. And
we were talking about it, but I feel like we don't ever get a chance to just hang out and talk and be normal.
Yeah.
And when we're together, we're like in podcast mode.
Yeah,
Like
even
in
when
our
we're
brains.
even when we're not podcasting, we just did that at community groups on accident. I looked at her and I'm like holding back. It was her turn to speak, but I was like just gonna respond back like we do just like right now.
Yeah.
And I was just I was literally gripping my arm like, be quiet, this isn't the podcast. Why does this feel like the podcast? You're listening to Christians in the Gritty.
This is Christina.
And I'm Melissa.
And I'm staring like, well, aren't you going to say something?
Yeah, she did. She looked at me and she gave me the look like, respond.
Yeah, I do that to Mark too, like when we're at places. And I'm like, I don't know. What do you think?
Like,
Staring.
No, she stared at me too.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, maybe she wants me to talk back to her. Maybe it's not weird that we seem to just, maybe that's why this is so natural, because that's actually how we are.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's funny. But I'm excited about this weekend. I know by the time this airs, the weekend will be over because we're recording it early. So we will be able to go on the marriage retreat. Yes, it's going to be great. We need it.
And I feel like too, for me, like we just recorded our little TikTok for Alexis's words of encouragement, and we were talking about those negative thoughts we get in our head. So I've also got, being honest, like it's a marriage retreat, right? So I'm like, I'm really excited for Mark and I to go and to just like have a good time together, no kids, and not have to worry about our different parenting styles and all the things that you worry about in a marriage.
I've always thought it was easier for Brandon and I to get along when the kids aren't around.
Yeah.
It's just so much different. It's like we can be different people. Both of us, really, but yeah.
Yeah.
I get so stressed out when it's all like crazy and hectic and yelling and the things, and it's like,
Yeah. And I mean, I say this hesitantly.
Because it's like, hey, please, Lord, take these negative thoughts from me. But at the same time, let me be real on this podcast.
Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I think it'll be good for us to get together as couples and adults. Not just like to be without our kids and be able to be with our husbands and kind of refresh there and learn about marriage and
getting to know other couples
but
better.
But also the adult time I'm super excited about. Like we can go and be adults with other adults.
Yeah.
Yay!
And that's hard too. Even when you're around other adults, just in everyday life, when your kids are there.
Yeah.
You're still focusing on your kids.
Or where am I all the time?
Yes,
either a church
ball game.
function or the kids' events.
Yes.
And it's still about them.
Exactly. So when we're sitting on the sidelines at the ball game, what are we talking about?
The kids.
Yeah. Except for when our teams play each other, our girls.
I think we were annoying everyone in front of us. It was actually kind of funny.
I don't know. Were we?
I don't know.
Sorry, guys.
The last time when we had our brothers there.
Yeah, and I was like walking around talking to everybody, and because I know people from both schools.
Yeah, me too.
Like hometown.
And then our friend, like friends of the family that are like family to us. Their granddaughters and cousins are, depending on which person you're talking about, are on the team as well. And it's just funny because it's like, oh, hi, blah, 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 people are probably like, maybe that's just my thing, my negativity against myself, because we've been talking a lot about negative thoughts. So like negativity against myself. Maybe I just imagine them be like, could you shut up now?
Yeah, like you're psyching yourself out.
Yeah, but it's probably
maybe
actually
you are,
true.
but it could be true for some people. I
think
mean, we all have different personalities.
And they were getting probably annoyed. Like one time I was like, yay, because there's bases loaded and this girl that can hit pretty good. And I was just joking. I was like, yay, hit a grand slam. And the other people were like, no, just a base hit. A base hit will be good. I'm like, calm down.
Oh, I thought she said, no, that's in baseball.
No, they said just a base hit.
I was like, I don't know.
Because that's really what you want to do. You just need to score. You don't need to get out. But because it's easy to catch a fly ball. But yeah, I was just kidding. But I get it, because the kids will be like, oh, grand slam, let me try.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's fine. That's how I always feel. I always feel like people don't get me.
Yeah. Man, we have a few really good hitters on our team. Mm-hmm. The one, she's really, really good. Like, I'm like, home run, okay.
Yeah, we have, especially last year, but now they're freshmen and they're on the varsity team. Like, really? As freshmen, yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
It's fun to watch. I love watching when teams are, like, level with each other. Mm-hmm. Like, equals.
Yeah.
Because their scores closer together. It's just, like, more fun to watch. I don't know.
I agree. They're, like, the varsity, we were playing, we're on a Division 4, which is a smaller school. And the team that we were playing was Division 2. And we were like neck and neck with them. We honestly could have won, but we weren't playing well. We weren't hitting against the pitcher, and the pitcher is very good. But I don't know. I think we could have done better. And the coach definitely thought they could have done better. There was some negative thoughts in his head, I'll tell you what. Because it came out of his mouth.
Yeah.
But yeah, so, but it was fun to watch. And it's always fun. It always goes into overtime with them. And that's two divisions. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's a Division 2 school. So
that's cool.
Yeah. So they always, the varsity does really well usually. Last year we struggled because we lost all of our seniors. Which was like almost the entire starters. So, but we still shared the title, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anywho, it's just, that is fun. It is fun to see.
So, yeah, that's exciting. But I was thinking, like, on the way driving over here, actually, like, I love watching the kids playing in sports, but also I wouldn't be super sad if they didn't want to play. Because... But at the same time, I miss it because Liz isn't playing any.
Yeah.
And I miss her playing.
You know, I've been thinking that constantly. Like, the few games I have missed of Shay, like, this is it. Mm-hmm. This is her last year. So I haven't went to as many of Marley's games. I tried to go to a few, and I missed some of Shay's, but I'm kind of, like, almost regretting it. Because Marley has all of her high school, and she's not going to really compete for time for her high school.
Yeah. And I was thinking that, though, is like, because I want more time with my kids, like quality time, too. And they're always so busy.
Look at Shay. She just ran out the door again.
I know.
She doesn't have to go to school all day. And today is a different, because they're due state testing. So today she did the 2-hour delay schedule. So she left for school, came home a half an hour later. Now she hurried up, running out the door, and she's trying to finish her college work because college is in exam mode right now. So by Monday, she'll be done with the college.
Yeah. And then moving on to the next one after, in August? Or
actually, she has to take college course in the summer.
Oh,
she's going to be going to another college in the summer, a different one, because the school she's going to go to for her first part of her degree doesn't carry physics 1 and 2 anymore because there wasn't enough demand for it, because it's really kind of a nursing school. Mm-hmm. But she's going to go to chiropractic. So she's doing 3 years there and 3 years somewhere else to, and it works together to get, like, so you don't have to go 8 years. So you use classes from one over to the other. So she had to go find these physics classes so now she's got like 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. classes or something like that. Like one part is lab and one part is the discussion or whatever. I'm not exactly how it works, but it's like 4 days a week this summer. So she's going to be already living in Toledo.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm going to miss her too. Mm-hmm. I'll have to, because I go that way a lot. So I'll have to be like, Shay, can you get lunch with me or something? Yeah.
She'll be like, I can't, I'm too busy.
I'll be like, just kidding. Seriously.
She wants to do a lot of work because she's always worried about not having enough money.
Yeah.
I'm like, girl, I'm the mom. Let me be the mom.
Yeah. I don't know. My kids aren't really like that. They're like, are you going to pay me for the gas for driving to my doctor's appointment?
She'll just tell me, I don't want to drive because I'm going to use my gas. But she takes herself to her doctor's appointment. I don't give her no money. I just realized that. She goes to her orthodontist appointment.
Yeah. Alicia wasn't really like that. But she will be like, I don't have gas money to do those things. Yeah. You know?
Which I get.
Yeah.
Remember. Yeah, so it just gets so busy, but I'm going to miss her. We were just in the kitchen. I had brought some of the stuff up from the basement, like her old binders, because I was smart for a couple of years. I'm really behind. I think we got to like 4th grade, where every time she'd bring something home, if I thought it was worthy enough, I put it in sleeves in a binder right away. So literally I have to dust these off, and I have all the way up to like 4th grade, and I just have to lay it on the table. I'm like, thank you, past Melissa, thank you. Like, yes, I'm winning for a second.
Yeah, I didn't do that. I just put stuff in a box.
Right. I knew I would do that and I'd lose it, which I don't know where any of her high school stuff is. I have to look for it.
Yeah. Which I guess it depends on our kids. Like, I know when I graduated, I put out like awards I won and different things like that. Alicia was like, I don't care about any of that. I just want this out. Like, she did a ton of pictures through her life.
Yeah.
And then she's like, put out her cords for NHS, NTHS, or whatever else. And yeah, and she was just like, all right, that's good.
She did give me a weird look because I'm like, did you see this? This was the first art project you ever did. You were 7 months old, and I remember you were in a high chair, and I put the press and seal down so I could just clean it up. And she's just looking at me, and I was like, and this frame was made by Grandpa.
I heard you saying that on the phone, okay.
And I'm like, it was made special so it could fit your picture. And it's literally like a bright yellow, like this sticky note that we
like almost
used.
Lime green.
Yes,
bright,
exactly.
Yeah, very bright
that we had for Alexis Words of Encouragement. It's that color with just fingerprint paint everywhere. And so it's just funny because she just looked at me like, okay.
I know, our kids don't think all that stuff's special.
She was just like, you're so strange. I cannot believe you framed that.
Okay, so I was just talking to Riley today too. I think I'm gonna, because we're cleaning a room out, I'm just gonna like start throwing out or getting rid of a bunch of the stuff instead of worrying about where it's gonna go to, because I can't take it with me when I die.
I was just thinking that. I was down in the basement getting that stuff, like, this stuff got to go.
Yeah. And she just kind of looked at me with big eyes, but then agreed with me. Yeah.
That all this stuff has to go.
Like, we can't take it with us when we die.
Yeah.
Like, what's the purpose of having it all?
Yeah.
Seriously. But.
So, I need to go through my garage. We have a 3-car garage. And I have stuff in there from when Brandon and I moved in together. And I never bought in the house. And, you know, just stuff like projects that didn't get done. And probably won't now, you know, with how busy our lives are and the way Brandon is and stuff, you know.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Yeah, so in the basement's full of like old baby stuff. You know, when I was having all the miscarriages and stuff like that, it was really hard to get rid of it right away. And I didn't know if I was going to have another baby. Like, I didn't want to get rid of it and then us not have the things we needed.
Right. Well, this is different than that, but because we're going through that room where all the stuff was stored at, and I was going to get rid of like a baby walker and bouncer and all that, and I'm like, I'm going to have grandkids in a couple of years, probably.
But you know what I've been thinking? If I need it, I'll get it.
Yeah.
I should just get rid of it.
I thought about that too, because I didn't really buy this stuff new either.
Yeah. And somebody probably needs it right now. Like, the car seats that are down there are probably expired. I should have given them to somebody, which I did give one of the bases away. It was brand new, still in the box. I gave it away because they did so much stuff for us. So we're like, here. They're like, let me give you money. Like, no.
I know. I try to give stuff away a lot.
Or I do a really good deal.
Yeah. Or if the kids want money from it, I sold a couple things. So it just doesn't go very well anyway.
I know.
I don't have the patience to really try and sell things.
I know. I did for a little while try to sell like piece by piece, but it's too much. And then people, I don't know. It just doesn't.
People don't usually show up to pick up the things that they say they want.
I still have stuff in a tote out there where some people didn't come and show up, and it's probably been out there like a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
So, but I have a Bible verse for this.
Okay.
Do not store up for yourself treasures on earth where moths and vermin destroy and where thieves break in and steal. Matthew 6:19.
Okay. I'm down in
Literal
the basement
moths.
getting that stuff for Shaylin. And I'm going, do not store up stuff where moths can get at it. Like, that's what I was saying to myself.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
Preaching to
Melissa, these
yourself.
don't keep treasures
Yes.
for them to just get ruined by moths and all this junk. And I'm like, look at all this stuff. It's all ruined. Like, this is the narrative in my head. Like, it's so funny that we're talking about it.
Yeah. Why we don't need all these things. I found this. Man, this is talking about all kinds of clutter. Maybe we should do a one on that sometime.
Yeah, we should. We should do a whole podcast on decluttering your life spiritually, physically, emotionally, and like techniques we've learned and the whys.
Yeah.
Coming soon to a podcast near you.
Well, and I've been thinking a lot about it in my life. And I mean, we grew up with extra stuff in the house.
Yeah.
I mean,
we didn't move from house for like 12 years.
Sorry, Mom.
Well,
but,
and Grandma. And then when Grandma's stuff came along. Too,
yeah, because Grandma...
Mom's been working hard at getting rid of all that.
Yeah, because Grandma and Grandpa... I mean, we could walk through a walkway in their house. Like
at one point, after Grandma died. After great-grandma died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's like you accumulate your parents' things and that.
It's the sentimentalness.
Yeah. But I was just talking to Riley about that too. I was like, but like their house was clean. It was because her and Mark were watching Hoarders.
Yeah.
And he's like, ask Riley about Hoarders. I'm like, oh, that was kind of my grandma.
But it wasn't because she didn't have any trash.
No.
Dishes were always done. Her kitchen was always clean and not cluttered.
Yeah.
Now that I think about it,
so clean.
I've never thought about that till this moment. It was never cluttered.
But we hung out in there a lot and would sit around.
And her living room was not cluttered.
Her dining room wasn't bad.
But it's the den.
The living room was cluttered.
It was eventually once she had her mom's stuff in there, but it wasn't always.
Yeah.
She had a lot of trees.
Okay, this tells me I'm not leaving all my stuff for my kids to deal with.
I know, that's what Mom said.
Yes.
She said that too when it came to...
But I think she has taught us that, though, is like, I'm not going to keep all her stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I really do believe she taught us that because she talks about it a lot. And
when Grandma first had lost her house and like moved, sorry, Mom. We're just always talking about you. We love you.
Yeah.
And she looked at this wicker trash can and she said, she said, man, I remember this trash can. This is like a big piece of my childhood. I go, Mom, it's a trash can. And she was like, yeah, you're right.
Okay, but you know,
like,
one
that
thing...
takes a lot of like brainwashing, you know, and rewiring of your brain to get away from that. Like that's, you still have the memory. You don't need the trash can.
Something that I feel like I would grasp onto from Grandma and Grandpa's house would be like their oil lamp.
Oh.
Or like their candy dishes. And the apron that used to hold all the goodies.
Okay, that was your favorite thing, and that came about when you were little. That was mostly for you.
Okay, well, I would race to get there before anyone else, so they could.
Yeah, she had this apron, and Grandma would find stuff around the house, and I think this was her way of getting rid of little things.
Yeah, like stickers.
And it was like a reward apron, kind of, but it was really just, and that's so cute.
As soon as you walk into the house, you could just get it out. Yeah. It wasn't reward.
No, I know, but it was just a reward for being her grandchild. But no, I'm saying like how I have reward buckets.
Yeah.
And so just things like that you'd put in there, like little treasure box things. But Christina thought it was so cool. And it was so cute now that you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Like she'd just go in there and see what Grandma tucked in the apron.
Yeah.
And it was just little toys. Spoons from, is that the one time you got a spoon from the cereal box or something? She put cereal box prizes. They used to do that, if any young listeners. We would have prizes in our cereal box.
Okay, I got real excited because there was one in like Cinnamon Toast Crunch here like in the recent years. Mm-hmm. And I might have just got rid of it, but I gave it to Aliana for a toy. But I was like, there's a toy in this cereal box.
And they're probably like, you're so weird. People don't understand. Like, then you had to start sending away for it.
Yeah.
Which is dumb, because
And then they're like, nobody wants them, so we're going to stop doing it.
Like, no, put them back in the box.
Yeah.
Dumping the whole thing out, or opening it from the bottom so you could get so you could be the one to get it.
Man, that was so fun.
Yeah. It's like, no.
Wow, we lived in a different time.
No, Josh.
Why is that fun?
It's so funny. And that's why I don't like being called a millennial. I don't.
Yes. Relate. I don't relate there.
And then I watched some of the 90s movies. I was like, maybe I do relate. A little. You know what I saw on TikTok recently is we are Gen X's little sisters. Because you know that world. Mm-hmm. You listen to that music because, well, Josh, Mike, and Scott listen to that.
And really, you listened to like slightly older stuff than even I did, but I heard it from you. And it's not really my big thing. Right. You know, only some of it.
Yeah, so it was like
Beastie Boys.
Yeah. Yeah. Or DJ Jazzy Jeff.
See, and I didn't, though.
I did.
But me, I was more like...
In the Fresh Prince.
So, and then you would... Yeah. And you would, like, listen to No Doubt and stuff like that. Yeah. And I would just...
Well, that was my time.
And I liked it, though.
Alanis Morissette. Mm-hmm. That was so cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So, yeah, that makes sense. There's just weird stuff that is sentimental to us. And
we need to learn to, like, let go, though.
Yeah.
And be, I don't know, ready for what God has for us. And what does that say? That say that we're not letting God provide for us.
Yeah.
Let's not get too far into it. We need to do a whole
that's what I was going to say. We'll talk about this another time because there's so much.
I'm so scared about this graduation party.
Yeah.
I need help. Like,
well, I'm gonna help you. I promise.
I didn't mean that. I meant everybody pray for me.
Oh, okay.
But if you want to help, I will take it.
I'm gonna help you. I don't have a graduation party until later. So, but yeah, I'm kind of excited for her party. Riley is kind of like now, like,
oh, it's my birthday.
Am I gonna do anything on my birthday? I'm like, you said Shay could have her party on your day.
Went to her and said, hey, do you mind?
And I tell you what, this year I have a ton of graduation invitations.
We too, but Shaylin is so funny. I don't know if it's truly how they meant it, but she's like, okay, this one only had Shaylin written on it. This one you can go to because it said Shaylin and family. And this one said to us. And I'm just like, Okay.
You're not welcome there.
She's like, you can't go.
Oh my.
We used to go to all of them though because we'd drive them there. But yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, whatever. That's okay. It's less for me to do.
Right.
I'm fine with it.
I don't know. And then, so Riley turns 13 this year. Mm-hmm. So it's like her big birthday. So she gets to have a big party. Mm-hmm. And so now, unexpectedly, a graduation party. Mm-hmm. And then that, and they're like close together. Mm-hmm. So we had that too. Liz's 16th and Alicia graduated.
Yeah.
So we'll make it work.
I just got this thought when I looked at you and you were talking about all that. Like, she's going to leave me so fast.
Oh, yeah. I know. I think about that too. Alicia hasn't left us yet, but she's not home much.
Yeah. I was never home much when I was Alicia's age.
Mm-hmm. That's true. And then I ended up kind of moving out.
That's almost exactly how I was. I just saved my room for when I wanted to come home and refresh, like both physically and mentally.
Right.
We just really need prayers from everybody. And yeah, I don't know. I just feel like when we do this podcast and stuff, that's all I'm seeing is instructions on prayer and stuff as I look at this Bible right now. It's just a lot of changes in our lives and a lot of things that we're struggling with. And I think doing this podcast both helps us be like therapeutic, but there's some things we can't talk about because it's just not for us to say.
Yeah.
Even though we're going through it too, it's not ours to tell. But at the same time, if you guys could just pray for us, that would be amazing. I know when you're doing stuff for God, there's a tax there.
Yeah.
Or when he's shaping you and growing you, there's growing pains.
You just had me thinking about when you're saying like what you used to do, and when I said I kind of like moved out, and you're like, and I kind of saved my room.
Yeah.
Those things that I'm like, all right, kids, you need to make a decision. Either are you living here or are you not living here? Like, our parents were never like that.
I think they told me when they needed it.
If you move out, you're going to have to pay rent.
Well,
like if you move back.
Well, no, I think they were like, hey, if you're not going to use this room.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, you can have a different room.
You need to clean it up, maybe move to the basement or something. I can't remember because I think Grandma needed a room at one point. I don't know. I can't remember. We're getting older.
I know. I forgot too, like I was in your old room for a while. Because we had rooms across the hall from each other.
Yeah, they're so
tiny.
And
then, because me and Elizabeth and I lived there with Mom and Dad after she was born for a while. So I had a room, she had a room. And then for a while, like, she came in my room all the time. I had a room in the basement. So, I mean, I did move around, too.
Shaylin and I lived in that old room, too. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she had that room set up for Grandma, and she'd never go stay in it.
Yeah. And then they lived in the camper for a while. Grandma and Grandpa. But, yeah. Mom and Dad have always been so welcoming to everyone in the house, like, to be in their house. Like, when we had, like, I would say we were almost, like, poverty-stricken. Almost.
Yeah, we always took in new kids,
but I never felt like
never thought
that.
about that. They were never like foster parents, but they would take in like relatives or whatever.
Yeah, our whole childhood.
They almost took it, and sometimes they didn't because of the house we had originally, not the house that we are talking about just now, but when we were growing up, it wasn't the nicest looking.
It was a 2-bedroom house that we once housed 8 people in.
But it worked because there's a huge landing, and they made the one room downstairs into a bedroom.
It actually was a big house for being 2-bedroom.
It was huge 2-bedroom house.
Because
it was a small house, but it was a huge 2-bedroom house.
Yeah, it had the kitchen that was kind of like kitchen / dining room because it was so like it had large. That space. And then it had a living room, a family room, the upstairs landing, and two bedrooms.
the one bathroom downstairs was actually originally, because it was a big bathroom, that was originally a bedroom. So that was our laundry room, bathroom. But originally, and I remember it, you wouldn't. It was on the porch. The bathroom went out of the kitchen, being told about it, onto the porch, but it was starting to like need done, so they tore it down, and they built this. That was Mom and Dad's original bedroom.
The new bathroom, like not being completed.
Yeah,
like it probably sat
we had to go
uncompleted for a long time. I don't know. Like, was it not all not filled in? Like the walls not finished, or
that was the stairway.
That's like a memory I have.
The stairway never had the drywall on it for like a long time. Okay. Yeah. It had like the what do they call it? The last slat or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know, the slats, the wood slats. Like on it. Whatever. Look at this house.
You get creative.
It's under construction all the time.
Yeah, so is ours. I mean, you get creative like with whatever you need to do, you just do. And I never felt like we were poor. No. Like, I always just felt like we had everything we needed. We always had
everything we needed. And if we wanted something, Mom would tell us no, but that was just normal for us. Like, no, we're not, you can't afford that.
Yeah.
But I never, I had so many toys. A lot.
Yeah.
And I had presents for Christmas, and I had food every single night.
Right.
And I never felt like that either. And we had the park right across the street.
Yeah. We lived within our means.
Yeah.
Which I think most of us nowadays struggle with.
Yeah. You don't need all these things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's going back to the clutter thing, but
yeah,
I've been really focusing on that in my mind.
Yeah.
And just trying to apply it to my life a lot.
But how happy were we?
Very. I know. I think about that all the time.
Yeah. I think we've had 3 different cousins live with us.
Yep.
A sister moved from my mom's to our house. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they wanted to take in another family. Not the whole family, but there was parents were truck drivers, and they were almost took in another kid that we didn't even know about. I forgot. They're like, no, we almost took them in. Oh. I think they would have.
They would have made good foster parents.
Yeah. They were-ish.
Yeah.
And when we were adults, they never made us feel awful for needing to come home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. Good job, guys. Grandma Monte was that way too, though.
I will say this, because I was talking with Keegan, and he was just talking about some things that he was reading in the Bible. And one of the things was genealogy. He brought that up, and he's like, weird, I don't understand it. I said, that stuff's just can be boring if you're just reading it,
Yeah.
And he's like, this person, son of this person, or whatever. And so we just kind of got into a conversation about Jesus and him being in Joseph's genealogy and adoption into family and stuff.
It's that's the part that the Bible mentions is the one who was not his blood.
Yeah. And so it was a really good conversation because Keegan's not our biological child. And so he was just, I just always feel like God brings up these topics we need. And I was just surprised he even read genealogy in the Bible. What kid picks that to read?
I think he probably came upon it on an accident and then why would you keep reading it? If I was a teenager,
maybe, unless the pastor talked about it.
Maybe.
But we got to have a discussion about that and just how special adoption into families are.
Yeah.
And it was just a really cool moment.
I'm really excited and eager to see what comes from Keegan just growing closer to God.
Yeah. Ugh, me too.
That'll be big.
Yeah.
We love him.
But I think that stuff helps them understand too. Like, you do belong here.
Yeah.
Like, there's no. But my point was, I guess, is that. So we talked about that. We talked about Jesus being adopted into a family, Keegan being kind of adopted into a family, and God wants us in His family. Like, we're adopted into His family as believers. Mm-hmm. Because He loves us so much, He wants us to be. Mm-hmm. So, like, that was an awesome conversation. So, I mean, if you're going through something like that with adoption or custodial things with a child, I get into that conversation with them, because how amazing and special and awesome is that?
Yeah.
So, anyway, we got into the conversation, Keegan and I did, about how my parents never told us half and whole and step. Like, we didn't ever hear that.
Never.
Growing up. No.
It used to always weird me out when people are like, oh, so it's your half brother. And I'm like, no, he's a whole person. Like,
yeah, like.
I mean, I use the words now because, like, they have a mom. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Well,
it just, sometimes I use it just because it explains where they came from. Because a lot of people knew me before.
Yeah. I still don't really, like, say it like that's my half brother. Like, no. I say that's my brother.
No, I meant my kids.
Oh, okay.
My kids.
Yeah. So, like,
we have 6 together, but I have 2 stepkids. But at the same time, the one was an adult. Not that I don't consider her, like, a child to me, but at the same time, it's just like she has a mom, and it's just, and I didn't raise her.
Yeah. Like the dynamic's a bit different just because of that.
Yeah.
So, Keegan didn't even know that we weren't all full siblings.
Yeah, because we don't act like
He was like, what? No, I was like.
Or that we didn't all grow up together.
Exactly. Like, he had no idea.
Yeah.
And I like it that way.
Yeah, that's cool. That's awesome that you thought that, because that means that, like, I don't know, we're doing something right.
Yeah. And even the other kids, and Riley, in Liz, I don't think she remembered. I mean, she was young when Riley was born. We met Scott. Yeah. They didn't know that Scott wasn't around.
I know. My kids just recently, or Marley maybe it was like, what?
They were so confused about it.
I'm like, no, he wasn't. He lived with his mom, and like, we didn't see him. And you remember that picture? That was the day we met him. Like,
yeah.
But there's no DNA test needed because he is definitely my brother. We act way too much alike.
I think so.
Actually, I don't want to know. Like, don't, Scott, if you're listening for some reason, like, no, don't take the test. If you do take it, don't tell me.
Don't tell us. Unless you for sure
because you're for sure my brother.
Don't tell us you took it. Period.
I think he is. He actually reminds me of some of the, like, Stephen.
Yeah. I think so too. And it's okay because he's adopted in regardless.
Yeah. And it's funny because he also, like, hangs out with our grandpa, which if he would have grown up with us, he would have grown up with that grandpa anyways. But since he didn't grow up with us, it's weird.
But it's totally his grandpa now.
It is his grandpa. And which is funny because it's not actually mom's dad either.
Because she was adopted.
Mm-hmm. So it's like this guy that is like two steps off.
I love it.
Or whatever.
It's so cute. He takes care of them. Like,
yeah, he's really good with
Scott.
them.
You're such a good brother, son.
Yeah, he is.
Uncle.
Yeah, a little flaky. Come over, but I love you.
Oh, shoot. Yeah. But go ahead. No, you go ahead.
I do want to say one thing. Genealogy in the Bible is super important, and I do love it. But sometimes read the stories first so you know who they're talking about. Okay, go ahead.
No, that's exactly it. And that's what I told Keegan. The genealogy in the Bible is best for when you're studying the Bible. You can go and say, oh, that's where this person's from.
Yeah. Or when you're more familiar with the Bible, and then the names mean something.
Honestly, I just in the last year have gotten more interested in it because I would just read it and go,
oh, okay,
whoever that is. I can't remember all of this. It took me that long to realize how I need to process this.
Yeah.
And so I was going at it from the wrong angle. So those are the kind of things I just want to help my kids with.
Yeah.
When they're studying.
You don't have to go into the Bible from front to back. You do not have to go into the Bible, even in the same book. Yeah. Like if there's a bunch of, but like Chronicles has a bunch of information in there, but also chronologizing like genealogy. So skip that, read the story. And then when you get more familiar with the Bible, go back. Reread it. Yeah. Or skim it. And so you can get an idea. Okay, there was a lot of people here or whatever. But I don't feel like you need to memorize all of the names. Like everybody has to start somewhere.
Right.
But yeah.
I'm just really thinking about so many things while we're recording this. It's like, yes, we need to talk about decluttering our lives in all the ways. And also, we need to talk with someone about empty nesting and just
I think I need a therapist.
The struggles of as your kids get older. And our lives are kind of different now. Yeah. Because like you have younger ones, I have a younger one. Like as our first group of kids is going to be out of the house, we're still going to have these other kids. It's going to be like this different dynamic.
It is. It's going to be totally different. It's going to be weird. Well, and especially at my house. Like, if his disease progresses more and more, it'll be me with little ones and taking care of him. And then what happens when the time comes where he's not here? Yeah. And then they're grown. And then I'm going to be all alone in this house. So just telling Shay that she's like, oh, I never thought about that. That breaks my heart for you. Aww. And I said... Brandon told me, because I was talking about maybe I'll foster sometime, or maybe I'll just be worn out and need a break, which is probably true.
I could totally picture. Okay, I'm sorry, but like you fostering teenagers once everybody's out. I'm serious.
Yes, because I feel like everything else would be too exhausting.
I really feel like older adults and teenagers more getting toward. Like past middle age adults are awesome for teenagers.
Yeah. As long as you remember what it was like to be a teenager. Well, as soon as you start forgetting, then you're not going to remember the shenanigans or giving grace.
Yes, you have to have patience in fostering no matter what age.
And you have to be a little smart when it comes to the teenagers. I feel like I learned that from Debbie. She's like, no, you got to know they're going to do it. Yeah. They're going to do it, and you just got to catch them.
You got to know what the newest of every lingo. Wait, is that the right term now?
I don't think she was that way. She's had so many kids, like over 250 kids. That's not an exaggeration. She's done the math.
Yeah.
And a lot of them still call them mom and dad. But they're amazing.
Well, and... that was so unfathomable for me at first, but after doing fostering just for a short time and the number of kids we've had in our home, then I guess I can...
Yeah, especially when you do like...
when you're doing this thing
groups.
for over 20 years or how a lot of... They've been doing it for probably 30 years. They had a lot of long-term kids, though. Almost. I don't remember.
You know, they had a lot of long-term kids. I think they have some hard rules... for a good reason, because you have to have boundaries and lines. Yeah. That's important.
Well, and the thing too is in foster care, the goal, for most every kid is reunification. Yeah. So you can have higher numbers and you hope that families are able to reunite. Yeah. When they can.
And maybe that's why they had a lot of long-term kids, because they had a lot of teenagers. And I feel like they might have been in the system a lot longer. Because usually by the time you're a teenager, if your parents had an issue, you would have already been taken out of the house. Right. Before you were a teenager. But. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that is the thing that would be hardest for me.
So this gets me thinking, if you guys, have something that you really feel like we should talk about, maybe God's even speaking to you for us. Yeah. Well, please let us know.
Yes, definitely.
So
we just always want to be speaking from the heart. We just thought we should take today just to kind of check in and let you just talk about life instead of just so much like Bible study and just, do a candid conversation like we used to call it. Candid conversation. But, and just, I don't know, just connect with each other even. Yeah.
And have these conversations with the people in your lives.
Yeah.
Like, on the regular.
Yeah.
We need to be real with each other.
Yes. Yeah, we just talked about that a little in the last podcast. Christians should be real with each other because you cannot go around, like, if you're not sharing the struggle, then you're not also helping others in their struggle and letting non-believers see that you are not claiming to be. It doesn't it makes you look less like a hypocrite.
Yeah. And I was going to say, I mean, like, God doesn't want us to walk around pretending.
Yeah.
Have joy. Yes.
But
also be vulnerable.
Yeah. Well, speaking of kids, I have to go get some of mine. So, did you want to pray for us?
Yes.
I have to go get some of mine.
Why are you laughing at me? Oh, you're laughing at
myself.
Oh, dear God. Thank you for just being able to sit here with my sister and just to talk.
Yes.
And just help us to have more of these moments outside of podcasting.
Yes.
Where we don't feel like that's what we have to do. We don't have to be podcasting. And I think we'll get that rest this weekend. And it's going to be fun and enjoyable. And just really be with us all that are going up to this marriage retreat. Help us to grow closer in our relationships with our spouses, with our friends, maybe make new friends, young and old. And just, Lord, be with everyone else to do the same thing in their daily lives. And thank you for our kids. And help us all through the different stages that we go through. Help us to be okay when they leave. And we need to remember that they belong to you ultimately. And they're just, they're a part of our lives, obviously, but that our goal should be to raise them to be followers of you. And thank you for our parents and our siblings, those that are with us through our lives, and bless us with their presence. And thank you for parents that are so welcoming to all of our friends and family members who needed places to go, and just teaching us to be open. So, Lord, just help us each to think about this through the week, and about decluttering our lives for you. And in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. You've been listening to Christians in the Gritty.
I'm Christina.
And this is Melissa.